All right. Since it's already 12 o'clock, I think we can start now. All right. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to Excel Academy Learning Hour webinar. I'm Adib, and I'm delighted to be a host for today's session. We are honored to have our expert speaker, TS Lohini Devi, who will be sharing valuable insights on understanding key Power BI visual and when to use them. All right. During this session, please feel free to ask questions in the chat box below. TS Lohini will address the question from time to time or at the end of the session. As a reminder, please keep your microphones muted throughout the session to avoid any disruptions. Without further ado, I hand over the floor to TS Lohini.
Hi everyone, thanks Adi, thank you. Hi everyone, I hope I am audible. If I am not, please put up in the chat so that I can make sure that I'm audible throughout the session. So hi everyone, it's very nice to have this learning session with all of you guys today. I heard that we have more than 100 people joining for this learning session today, which is great because it's the last day of 2025. So we all supposed to be in, the Patsalji and having a good holiday. But instead, you guys have taken your time to join the session. So I think that's great. And thank you for taking your time to join this. And just give me a minute to share my screen. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen and my voice is audible. And like I said, thank you for joining. Probably before we start, I would also like to probably gauge all of the audience that we have today. Like, how are you guys feeling today? Like, we all made it like as whole to the end of 2025. Because I heard like, when I heard around that people say 2025 has been like very rough for majority of the people. Maybe before we start, I probably want to just see like how you guys are feeling today. Maybe you can just put in the chat, or maybe you can just like send some emojis or use like the reaction buttons that they have in Zoom. I'm still waiting. Okay. Okay, great. I'm sure like everyone is like great and okay, it's coming in now. Okay. Okay, good. I think it must have been great year for many people. It must have been challenging year for some people. So anyhow, we all have made it through this year, which is a great thing. So let's start for today's session. In today's session, it's going to be about understanding key Power BI visuals and when should we use them, right? By end of this session, in the next 60 minutes, you'll be learning why visual choices matters in decision making, especially when it comes to data-driven decision making. And what are the key Power BI visuals that you should understand? And when should you use them? And how can you put on your analyst hat sometimes when you want to do visualization kind of work? And towards the end, I'm also going to show like a very short demo on how can we build a quick visualizations in Power BI. Yeah. Throughout, if you have any questions, put up in the chat, and I'm going to come back to those questions when we have our Q&A session, right? So first, why visual matters? Why does visualization matter? Suppose that we all have a same data. Okay, let's imagine we have a sales data, right? And you have a task to present to your management about the sales that we have done in a certain year. Okay, so this is how a data would look like, and this is how I could present the data in the most simplest way. A table, right? For decades, we have been using this, right? How can we present a data? Just a table. Everything that I want to show, like which month did how much, what amount of money, what product or whatever, all of the information the easiest way I can show is a table, which if it is your management or boss would accept because you completed the task, because you did present the data. But does the data talk to your audience? So your audience could also be coming from different persona. Some could be like an operational managers. Some of your audience could be like a CEO, CFO level. So for different audience, different visual speaks, right? Maybe if you go and show a table to a CEO, must you will get makila for sure because it doesn't speak to the CEO. It's like you're just showing me a table. Is that what I'm paying you for, right? And now the same data without any kind of modification, I'm just putting it into a chart, a very simple line chart. Now, what we're seeing here is not just a data, but insights. Insights means something more than just January made 5 million, but here I am seeing a trend. I can see which month made the most sales. I can see which month made the least sales. For the example here, in April 2014, I had the least amount of sale. Whereas in October and November, I had the highest amount of sale. So this is what different visual tells different story, even though the data here is still exactly the same. Again, a table just gives all of the information without giving an insight. With this chart, with the line chart, I'm giving them insights. I'm showing them a trend. I'm showing them the lowest. I'm showing them the highest. I'm showing like which months that it has been stagnant. Now from this insight, it will trigger different kind of questions for different persona. So some people will start asking, why did we did so low in April? Did our marketing campaign didn't work? What campaign we did? Why it didn't work? And probably they would also go and refer back to the highest month, highest sales of the month. Okay, what did we do differently here? Okay, maybe we should apply that more often so that our sales will consistently be high. So that's the difference. A table, a line chart, but the story it gives out to the audience, it's very different. And again, what story should we tell? It completely depends on our audience. So when we are going for our let's say our monthly meeting with our department, in that scenarios, maybe line chart is useful because we are showing the trend, and then we are going to get ideas, how can we improve the sales and all. Let's say now you are 31st of December, right? Year end. A CEO of a company, he wants to know how much did I sell this year. So for those kind of like executive level of audience, this is what we call card in Power BI. This kind of card is what visualization will be useful for them. So all they want to know is like, how much did I do this year? And then they're going to compare, okay, I did this much this year. I did 81 million this year. Why is it low? Why is it lesser than last year? Or why is it so much higher than next year? Last year. So how am I going to improve it for next year? So again, same data with the right kind of visual when you choose, it gives a different story to the audience, to the different set of audience, and eventually it brings up different decisions, right? So that's why visualization matter. When you choose the right visual, it gives the right story to the people, to your audience. And therefore, from them, the decision making or even the discussion point can be changing, right? So that's why choosing the right visual matters. And in today's session, I want you to start when you are doing like a Power BI report, or let's say if you are not a Power BI expert yet right now, when you are making a report, when you have to present your monthly, weekly, KPIs and all to your respective in your respective company, instead of just thinking like a report builder, okay, I want to put up some tables, that's it, my task is done. Instead of doing that, we should try to learn to incorporate an analyst's mind, right? Rather than just throwing the data to them, we should think, what am I trying to show to my audience? What do I, in my KPI, weekly KPI meeting or my year-end meeting with my CEO, what story do I want to tell to my CEO? and what kind of analysis I thinking I wanted to go at the back of the report. So before you choose a visual, before you build your report, you want to think about what values am I comparing? What kind of values do I want to highlight and show it? Um, like, do I want to highlight like how much sale did I do, or how much profit did I made, or or maybe like I introduced, let's say you created some new products, so you want to show like your particular products have made like really good sales, have bring in like really good profit. How can you highlight it with choosing the right visualization, right? And then whether you're tracking change over time, or you're tracking like a workload over time in 2025, this much of workload I have handled, I have tracked, I have mitigate risk by tracking it. So always ask a few questions first before jumping right into a report building. Or whether you're doing a performance monitoring, which I think most of our, if you're in an operational level working, which is what you usually do, like, and whether you monitor you're meeting your KPI or not, or if it is not KPI, if you're like APT, average processing time, then you'll be monitoring that and analyzing pattern and causes. So try to use your data, try to ask these questions, and then you come up with a report. Not just go in with fancy reports and then then you stumble to think, like you stumble to tell the story. What am I trying to show here? Actually, I don't know. I built a bar chart, but I don't exactly see the story coming out. So before you choosing the right visualization, have a think. What do I want to show? What numbers, what values, and what story do I want to persuade to my audience? Okay. Now, coming to selecting the right visual, right? There is something called visualization analytics. It's a technical stuff, but if I have to put it in a layman term, there is like four different categories where we can categorize the visualization analytics. As in, when I want to choose the visual, what am I doing, right? Like the business thinking that I was sharing earlier, the business thinking. If my business thinking is comparison, then the visualization analytics that I can use are the following. So if I want to do comparison of any numbers, then these are like the example of charts I can use in my report, whether you're using a PowerPoint or Excel or Power BI. I think PowerPoint and Excel, it's really getting outdated now in a lot of big companies. They are already moving into Power BI because you can automate your reports. You don't have to every week or every bi-weekly or every time when you have a meeting, you don't have to, do your data crunching in Excel and then update your PowerPoint and then go and present. You don't have to do that. Many companies have moved towards that direction where they just create one report. It's a one-time effort. You create it, your data crunching happens in Power BI, your report building happens in Power BI, and you do that only for once, and then you can automate your data refresh and all those things within Power BI, and you're done. So when it comes to your weekly meeting or your monthly meeting, all you do is bring your report and present, or just click a refresh button if you have not done like the auto refresh. That's it. So a lot of big companies are moving towards that in today's, what you call that, AI era. We are trying to automate as much as things that we are doing repetitively. Things that is very repetitive, we just automate. And then our actual effort comes in when we think, when we want to do innovative stuff, when we want to do like build like a new products. That's where like our brain effort should go in. And things like automating stuff, things like repetitive stuff, we should just let this AI to do the job, which Power BI also has that. It has been like embedded with these AI stuff, but that we come later. Okay, coming back here. So selecting right visual, when you want to do comparison, these are the charts that you can use. You can use line charts when you want to compare different numbers along a different timeline, like last year, this year, or like January to December, different months. How did I do? If you want to do comparison, along a timeline, then line chart are the best. If you want to do comparison among different categories of stuff, like in a within departments, which department made most profit, whether it's finance or procurement or HR, then bar chart are the best, column or bar chart. Those are like the best ones if you want to compare um along different categories, right? And then you have a composition. Let's say your story that you want to tell, you want to show a proportion or a composition, how much it takes. For example, in the company, I want to show how much female I have, how much male staff I have, or within like a senior management level, how much male, how many female, how many male I have. When you want to show composition, then pie chart are the best, right? But pie chart do have its limitations because pie chart, if you want to use pie chart, right? Pie chart or donut chart, if you have heard it, if you want to use pie chart or donut chart, the best case scenario is you should only have 5 categories. Okay, your categories, whether like if let's say department, if you have only 5, then it's good to go with pie chart. The case when you have like more than 5, then definitely do not use pie chart. You if you still want to show like composition, then you can use bar chart. You can use stack bar chart or stack column chart. Or in certain cases, if it is a timeline basis scenario where you want to show along the timeline, like in 2022, what happened, 2023, what happened. If you want to show timeline basis composition, then you can use area chart. And of course, the stacked one is like more advanced, but the basic one is just like an area chart, right? These are the charts that you can use when you want to show composition. And next, the other two things that we can use if when you want to show distribution, histogram. Density plot is like a advanced chart. We very rarely use it, but anytime when it comes to showing distribution of any variable, it's always histogram. I think since our schooling days, we have been known about this. So even up to today, I feel like even in corporate world, even though there are like other very fancy advanced charts you can use to show distribution, but the common use and the most used is still histogram, because that's the chart that can help you to tell the story in the most easiest way, right? And then if you want to share something on relationship, you want to show how variable A and variable B, like data set A and data set B is like communicating, like how certain product category and the buyers are related. Did the sale increase because of this product category? Did the sale increase when I use like a different if I use like a different colors, like if I'm using like very striking colors, does it help the buyers to buy more of my products? Or if I go more of pastel colors, is that going to help my buyers to pick my products? So when it comes to showing relationship between different variables or different data point, it's always best to use scatter chart. Then you can categorize them, you can group them, you can see which group is contributing more to your business or to your decision making. I am just going to, okay, probably I'm just going to continue first. I did see some chat coming in. Okay, never mind, I can just take it now. Oh, sorry, it's from Adif. Sorry. Okay, I got distracted when the chat comes in. I thought it's a question. Okay. So first you have to think what do you want to show. Once you know, like I'm going to show a comparison. I want to show a change over the time, or I want to show some proportion, or I want to show distributions, or I want to show relationship, right? Once you have put that thinking, these are the thinking that has to go at the back of your report. Of course, whatever you're presenting to your management and all is the front, but at the back end, these are the thinking that should go in. so that you would be able to choose the right visuals. The moment you choose the right visual and you do your data crunching and you build your report, you present your visuals, what happens, what are the benefits you get when you choose the right visual is before you start presenting, before you start doing your storytelling, your visual would already done 50% of the job. Before you go, oh, okay, in 2025, the top, the first, the second, third product sold was blah, blah, blah. Before you could present, before you could tell all that story, the moment you put up your slide or your report, it already tell half of the story. When people see the bar chart, when they see like the first chart is the tallest, I mean the first bar is the tallest, and then the second bar, and then the third bar, they already know which one is the first, the second, and third. So before even you start opening your mouth, people already get half of the story. So that's why choosing the right visual is important because it helps you to do half of the job, to do your any kind of reporting presentation, or for the matter, decision making. You know, very quick decision making. I have 50,000 rows of data in Excel, which I cannot see yet which product sold the most. But when I just like two clicks in Power BI, it's just like 2 clicks, you can already get a bar chart. The moment I pull the data, I put into my bar chart, within second, I can already see, okay, product A did the highest, did sold the highest in 2025. So I can very quickly do a decision making. Should I continue the product or should I like, discontinue the product? So I'm just giving like really simple examples, but these are the benefits of, choosing the right visuals, right? We can go next. This I'm going to show an example. Probably I would need you guys to answer me. Probably you can answer in the chat. I'm going to put up the visual. This is a tricky example. This is not like a very basic example. Again here, the reason I want to show this, maybe let me explain first, then I show. Um, the reason I want to show is even though you already do your analyst thinking, you already, okay, I want to show comparison, I want to show distribution, and then you went and picked your charts, you built it. But again, you have to always think after you put up your data into your charts, you have to always think, does this chart telling the story for me or not? If it is not telling, then you have to always think about using the other more useful charts. Okay, I'll continue the story. Let me just put up the first chart. Okay, based on this chart, can you guys quickly tell me in the count of three, which is the third most used app? One. Okay, I probably count a little slow because you guys need to type. One, two, and three. Based on the pie chart, tell me like which is like the most third most used app. I am seeing some responses. Okay, Facebook, TikTok. Okay, there is like different answers coming in. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So we have different answers, which means we are not getting synchronized answers. Why some people see Facebook, why some people see TikTok as the third most used app. Now, I'm going to put up another chart and I'm going to ask you the same question in the count of three, which is the third most used app. Within a second, you can see it. You didn't have to do the searching, right? Within a second, you can already see which is the third most used app. You didn't really have to do searching. You didn't really have to zoom in, put up your spec and then like, hey, which number, which number. So this is what I said. Choosing the right visual, it already helps you to do 50% of the job. When I show the pie chart, when I ask you to find the third most used app within the pie chart, I'm sure most of you would have go and have a deep look as that, okay, which number, okay, 850, okay. Of course, you can see number one. I don't have doubt in that. But I just want to, I want to just see how quickly can people grab, which is like the second used or third most used app. When I put up the bar chart, it's within a second I can see it's Facebook because I put it in a bar chart and I sorted the bar chart so that it's coming from the highest number to the lowest number. And based on the bar chart sizes and also number, I could so quickly see that Facebook is the third most used app. Okay. I mean, third most downloaded app. Sorry, the question is wrong, but I hope you get the message that I'm trying to imply here, right? So this is what this is a very good example of how choosing the right visual. I'm not saying this pie chart is wrong, like how I was telling just now that if you have up to 5 categories, then you can always use pie chart to present your data and But again, you have to see the scenarios. Does this pie chart would do the best job or the bar chart will do the best job? Because now I'm presenting to my stakeholders the most used app and I want them to see it within seconds. So if pie chart is still going to make them to squinch their eyes, zoom in and find it out, then it is not helping you to do the job. It is doing the job, but it is not helping in the best way possible. That's the storyline, right? So I think hence with this example, I could further conquer my point that choosing the right visuals will always help you to do half of the job when it comes to the storytelling, right? And now we will see the top three Power BI visuals. In fact, it is not only top three Power BI visual, but it's just like over all visualizations, whether you're doing your visualization in Power BI or Excel or any other BI tools, business intelligence tools like Tableau or Click or whatsoever, in any kind of BI tools, when it comes to data analysis, data visualization, data science, data analytics, when it comes to this, the most used charts is these three. It's definitely these three. There are so many other charts. Of course, there are so many other like fancy charts like radar chart, tornado chart, butterfly chart, like so many more. But at the end of the day, the most used globally or in corporate world is this data because it helps you it helps you to tell the story in the most easiest and the fastest way, right? Um, of course, like I'm sure like all of you guys would have known about bar chart, pie chart, and light chart since your schooling. So it's not like I'm introducing something that is completely new, that is completely just found like yesterday. No, this is not ChatGPT or Copilot. These are things that you already known for like years and years. But I would like to share a few tips, a few do's and don'ts that you can do when you pick these visualizations, right? First, let's just briefly see on bar chart. Okay, we mostly use the commonly used term is bar chart, but you can also use column chart kalau the bar is vertical. Kalau bar tu vertical, column chart, ataupun I think even myself, I've been here with this doing data job for like 8 years, but I always call it bar chart, whether it's vertical or melintang. Um, so you call column chart or bar chart, whichever terms you can just use it. So within the bar chart, there is like three different categories. For the first one is definitely the vertical ones. You can call it the column chart, right? The tips here is the tips that basically the tips here when you want to use a column chart or the bar chart yang vertical tu, you want to use it. If you want to show a data presentation for different categories or different categories, if you have up to 7, then it's good for you to use the bar chart that is vertical. What is vertical in Malay? Tegak. Okay, vertical. So if you have up to like 7, it's good for you to present it using a column chart. Okay. But the moment you have more than 7, do not do this. Whatever you're seeing it in the first one, yang I pangkat tu, I use my laser point. Okay. Whatever you're seeing here, do not do this. The moment you have more than 7, you have 8 categories, you have like 9 different departments that you want to show a sale or sales. So do not use this column chart. Don't use the bar chart yang vertical too. It's always good if you have anything between 7, then you can use this. In any case, if you don't, then you can always just flip it up, then it becomes, it's not moving. Okay, now it's moving. So if you have anything between 7 to 15 categories, you can always go and use the bar chart, right? If your bar chart is always used, there's only two scenarios you'll use bar chart. The first scenario is you have more than 7 categories. You have more than 7 categories that you want to show the different numbers, right? In that scenarios, you can use bar chart. And if you want to show ranking, the moment you want to show ranking, which department did number 1, number 2, number 3, then it's always good to use bar chart, especially when you have more categories. So the usage, I think everyone knows how to use bar chart and all, just that how do you make it, what's the term? How do you like materialize it, like have a good benefit out of using this visualization? So the moment you have 7 to 15, you use bar chart. The moment you have more than 15, right, don't build a bar chart for that. The moment you have like more than 15 categories that you want to show, I think the best chart that you can use is a table, because it's going to look very messy. When you have more than 15 departments that you want to show sales and blah, 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 it's always better to just use a table, because that table can help you to tell a better story than using a bar chart, because it's going to be so like cramped, like people won't even able to get the story out of that chart. Okay. And now you have a bar chart, whether you have column or bar chart, and you want to enrich it. I want to add more information. Now I want to show, okay, if I go back to the previous example, pasal apps yang downloaded tu, I want to show how many millions of people have downloaded my different apps, TikTok, Facebook, and blah, blah, blah. On top of that, I want to show also in which region, in which country, um, how many people downloaded. Okay, this we call it enrichment. When you study about like visualization analytics, this we call it enrichment, which means within one chart, you are not telling one story, but you're trying to tell more than one story. Okay, contoh stack chart and bar, column chart, stack chart, you can build within like 1 to 2 clicks in Power BI. It's very, very quick. Later, I'll show you the demo. So this is what a stack chart will look like here. Not only I'm telling you how many millions of people have downloaded TikTok, WhatsApp, and Facebook, blah, 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 but I'm also showing how many people exactly did in USA. In USA, how many millions of people downloaded, and other parts of country. So using just one chart, I have enriched the information that I am sharing to the audience. So stack chart is my favorite chart, to be very honest. I don't know. I think I missed to share that I'm actually a procurement data expert in an oil and gas firm in Malaysia. So always like when I want to present my procurement data, of course we do have like different plants all over Malaysia and also other country. So I my favorite chart to use is always stack chart, because within stack chart I can only show the spend or the sales or whatsoever. Not only that, on top of that, I can also show like different region, different part of the world. Like in Southeast Asia, how much we did, in like North America, how much we did. So stack chart is my favorite chart personally, because it's one chart, but I can add as many as I can to enrich my information. Again, you can add as many as you can, but don't make it clumsy. This is stack chart. Yes, here is a bar chart example. We are stacking it with different kind of information, total revenue by quarter, and also like by different, I guess this is authors. So here, when I put this kind of it, I like probably the intention of someone who built this chart is they want to use one chart and they want to tell multiple different stories. But that intention did not get achieved, because the moment you put too much of information into one chart, it becomes clumsy. Your story gets stuck within the chart itself. And then you have to stand there or sit there and explain like, oh, Q1, blah, 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 this one did blah, 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 Mr. A did blah, 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 Mr. B did blah, blah, blah. you have to do so much of work in your storytelling, whereas supposedly your chart should already help you to do the 50% of the job. Okay. So again, these are just like simple tips when you use tag chart. It's good to use tag chart to enrich your storytelling, but be aware of like how much you're putting. Don't put too much in. It gets clumsy. Okay. And next we have pie chart. Again, pie chart is like most you actually it's not most use is bump. The top three, yes, but pie chart is actually not it is not many data people's favorite chart because pie chart punya storytelling capability is very limited. So if you want to show, I mostly use pie chart if I have like a story to tell about, if I want to tell about genders, like okay, female, male, because it's easy to tell with pie chart. So for me, my least favorite, and I also read there's a study done that is a pie chart is also like this favorite chart. It is most used in the world and top three most used, but it is least favorite for data people because of its capability of telling the storytelling to you probably fit a lot of stories within pie chart. There's only like limited you can do it. But if you have like very small pieces of story to tell, then definitely pie chart is like um the best one. But again, when you try to build pie chart, right, try to make sure you put the labels and all within the pie chart. With Power BI, everything is very easy. It's all within clicks. Um, you can try to use like this is a tips when you're building a pie chart. Like for example, this is the same example that the third most used app yang mana you tak nampak lagi, ataupun if you want to highlight like the most number one first used app, because if you see, because the numbers are very close, that's why the slices punya size tu macam lebih kurang sama. That's the reason why you couldn't identify very quickly which is first, second, third, or maybe you can identify first but not the second, third, and onwards. One tips here is make use of your colors. Make use of your colors to highlight the information that you want to highlight to your audience. Contoh, the same data. I'm just going to stop this. The same data, the same pie chart, but now I have changed my colors to highlight the so with the shade of the colors, you can see the darker the color, that is the most downloaded app. The lighter the color, that is the least downloaded app. Again, it's the same thing, but a few tricks that you can do to actually help you to highlight the key points to your audience through the visualization. Here is also a little bit of customization. Customization as in like cosmetic lah, basically. You play around with the colors, the cosmetics. Which helps you to do the storytelling part. These are certain tricks I'm just sharing, but I think when you come for the full class, I would probably share like a whole module on data storytelling, like how can you use like different colors, different elements within visualization to help to improve your storytelling to your stakeholders. Okay. And the third most, this is another one. I think I did share this earlier. The moment you have up till five, maximum is five. When it comes to pie chart, maximum is always five, like five. That's it, not more than that. If better, it's like four or three. The moment you have more than five categories, do not think about pie chart. It gets messy. It doesn't do the job for you. It doesn't tell the story for you. Okay, so this one, the reason I put it up, the panka, it shows no, it's only five. More than five, no pie chart. Go back to bar chart or any other different charts, right? And then coming to the last one, the most used chart is line chart. Line chart is always best when it comes to you want to show things across timeline, right? We all know this. But within a line chart, the tips or tricks that you can do to enrich your information is within line chart. So line chart is showing you the data, right, across the different timeline. What is my data points are doing, going up, coming down, increasing, decreasing. Together with that, to enrich the line chart, always try to use a benchmark lines. Put a constant benchmark line. For example, if you're showing your KPI achieved rate over the last few months, you have your line chart, which means it shows like January you did 80%, February 90%, blah, blah, blah. On top of that, put up a constant line, like a benchmark line, to show supposedly the KPI is, let's say, 90% that you can achieve. When you put a benchmark line and you have a trend, your line chart, it gives a better story to the audience. It says that, okay, my benchmark is 90%, but my staff have consistently meet the 90% in the first quarter, tapi the second quarter they're struggling because I think I missed to put up the line here. But okay, yeah, the story here is when you have like a benchmark line and then you have a line chart, the story gets even better to the audience to say that the first quarter my staff did really good. They all achieved more than 90 because my line chart crossed the benchmark line. And then let's say the second quarter, it is all below my benchmark line. Then something happened second quarter. So all of these things, without you telling the story, it already helps you to the storytelling. When you add like benchmark line, when it comes to line chart, the tips for you to enrich your information, your storytelling is always adding benchmark line if you have, or add a trend line like Mawadi to show that the trend is increasing, the trend is decreasing. Okay. These are a few tips and tricks that you can add towards all of these basic charts, but the most used charts all over the world to help you to enrich your storytelling. Now, that's on the visualization. I did share how to choose, how do you put on a little bit of your analyst hat and think about which chart to choose, in what category, that if comparison, what do you use, and then with the basic charts, what are the tips and tricks that you can do to help you to improve your storytelling. And now we will go on to the demo. I would probably stop sharing here and then I'm going to share back in a bit. Up until here, is there any questions? Let me also look through the chat. Okay, good. So we will have like a Q&A towards the end as well. But I just want to take a pause here to see if there's any question. Okay, so far so good from Madhurayavani. Thank you. I am going to do a short demo now in Power BI, so that you can see like how useful like the Power BI can help when it comes to visualization. Okay. Again, I'm sharing my screen, so let me know. Okay, let me know if you can see. If you cannot see the screen, then let me know. Otherwise, I think we are good. Like you can see here, this is the Power BI desktop. Probably today's session is more on the visualization, right? So when it comes to Power BI, there's a lot more different elements. There's a lot of different features and elements within Power BI. During this demo, I'm not going to cover all of the features of Power BI. That is for like the later, the full length class. Since today I'm focusing on visualization, I'm just going to very briefly show you some of the key Power BI features, and then I'm going to jump straight into the visualization, right? Okay, first, this is the Power BI desktop, okay? And of course, whatever you can see here, this is how it will look for everyone. In the ribbons, we have like a different elements. The first one I would like to highlight is the get data part. This is where you will actually extract your data into Power BI, as in like macam masukkan data lah into Power BI so that you can do your data crunching and then build your report. So of course, there are different sources that you can pull your data in. Of course, Excel workbook, we all are the most used data sources is Excel. But not only Excel, there is a lot of different sources of data you can actually pull in. Why Power BI is very commonly used in a lot of the big corporates for reporting purposes is because of its flexibility. It's very flexible. No matter from which data source you want to connect your data to do your data crunching and report building, it's very flexible and it's very easy for the different connection as well, whether it's coming from SQL, SharePoint, Sharefolder, or Access, or like a different database. You know, there's so many like what do you call it, cloud databases actually. So it's actually very flexible for you to connect to whichever platform your data is coming from. It's very easy for you to connect and start building. And it all happens within clicks. Okay. So this is where we get our data. And then these are like other different parts you have lah, like macam how you do a data transformation. You boleh add text box, you boleh add pictures, you can do your quick apa measure yang pasal text semua tu. But all of this we can go in detail like during the full length class lah. Okay, and then what you're seeing here on the um left hand side here, my left hand side probably is your right hand side. This is like the different this is a report view. Later, this is where I'm going to build the report. Maybe I can quickly show you. This is how my report going to look like towards the end. So this is a report view, we call it. This is the table view. So here, I downloadkan the data. So this is where you can, lepas you download the data, you can always go back and see your data. So today punya data yang I nak guna is like some sales data. This is just some dummy data lah from Microsoft where it has like different country and different product, berapa banyak sold, unit sold, what was the manufacturing price, what is the sale price, and how much is the gross sales, the discount, the profit, and which month it does how much sale. It's a very simple data set. Okay, later this is a data set I'm going to use to build a visualization. So once you upload your data, you can always come back and review or view your data in this table view. And then we have one thing called model view. This is where you see when you upload like multiple different data. Here I only have like two tables, two data set. But the moment when you put like 10 different data set, this is where you will actually do the data modeling for you to connect different table to different table. Macam contoh, this is financial table, and this is my calendar table. How am I connecting my financial table to calendar table is through the date column. So now I already built a relationship within these two. So later on, when I want to build any visualization, these two tables will automatically speak to each other through the data modeling I have done here, right? Data modeling part, it's going to be more of a little intermediate to advanced Power BI classes, but we will also like cover it. But today I will only cover very briefly because if I start talking more detail, there's so much more I can share. Okay, but we'll run out of time lah. And then these are like new features. These are the past AI became a thing. These are like new features like you can do your DAX query view, which means Copilot akan tolong you reviewkan your DAX query. So which means kalau you tak pandai DAX pun, you can already do DAX measure. Okay. Tapi yang ni, I think the subscription is going to be different lah. Like, I'm sure I'm not sure most of you know or not. Kalau you guna Power BI desktop, kalau you nak install, benda tu free. Tapi if you want to use the Power BI workspace, which is a different element of Power BI, but which you need kalau you nak share report among your team or different departments, you will still need that. So for that, then if you want to start having Copilot embedded into your Power BI, then you need to have a different subscription. Kalau yang what I have right now is just Pro, the basic subscription. Tapi kalau if I want to use Copilot and all, then I would need to go for like premium subscription lah. Tapi tak payah pun actually, like you can use your own ChatGPT or whatever AI tools that you have separately. You don't have to have it embedded pun. In yang DAX ini pun, if you're building like a very complicated report, then yes, you need DAX. But if you're building like very basic report, you don't need any kind of DAX. Like this report that I built from the data that I have, I don't need any DAX actually. Okay. And then here, what you're seeing here is the data panel. What data I have uploaded and my columns I can see here. This is a visualization panel. This is where this is what I say that within 1-2 clicks, I can already build. Okay, I will show this demo in a bit. And this is a filter panel. So I can put different kind of filter. I can apply filter for that one visualization, this one map chart, or I can add filters at the page level. So the filter will be applied to this entire page. Or I can put filter on all pages, which means, contoh lah, I want to see sales, I want to see all of the analytics, tapi I want to see only for the country, what country do I have? Okay, let's say I want to see only for Canada. I only want to see Canada. I don't want to see numbers for the other countries. So what I'll do is I'll pull country And then I will only choose Canada. You see, within a click, I already filter out. So now in all of my pages, I will only see the data for Canada. I mean, it depends on cases to cases. Like if you want to do like very customized report where we want to add different levels of filters, this is how flexibly you can actually apply your filter, right? That's why like Power BI is, I personally like using Power BI because number one, it is very user friendly. It's very intuitive, which means I don't have to, like when you click a few times, you already know like how to use. You can already get familiarized with it. It's not like a very difficult tool for you to use actually. You just need a little bit of hand holding, but within a day or two, you can already start building Power BI report. Okay. Now that's that. I think since we only have another 9 minutes, so I'm going to quickly one last thing. So there's another important feature is called Power Query Editor. So tadi when I upload the data, this is where I will do all kind of data transformation. Power Query Editor is where I will do all kind of transformation, and this is where I can see my data. And then every kind of transformation, every single step that I'm doing, it will be captured here. So anytime when I want to go back and reverse back, let's say I don't want to filter, I don't want to rename a column, I can always go back to the previous step. Contoh source. This is like the first step I did, which is uploading my table. And then navigation, I'm reading out each of my column. And then I'm changing the type of my column, whether it's text type or numeric type. So each of these steps, when you are doing data transformation in Power Query Editor, dia akan auto capture all the steps. Yang ni bukan I buat sendiri. Dia masa I tukar, for example, from here, let's say I am changing this name. I'm going to rename. Let's say I'm going to change it to product one, nama dia. Automatically, the steps will be captured here. And then let's say if I don't want product one, I don't want this step, I can just delete it. It will go back to my previous state. So it's very, very flexible. It's very easy for people to use it. You don't need like very extensive knowledge to actually start using it. If you want to build like very complicated dashboard, then yes, you need extensive knowledge. But if you want to build like 1, 2 pages simple reports, a day or 2 day of hands-on will make you pro already. Okay. I'm gonna just close. I don't want to apply it. So let's go. First thing first, I'm going to put up a text box because I want to put my title, Executive Summary Report. So not only I can add visuals, but I can also add my text box and images. Like kalau you wanna do like more cosmetics, you wanna make it very fancy, have a lot of different images, icons, all those things you can do it. Okay, center cut. Okay. And then now I want to play colors. This demo, right, is just to show like how quickly I can do things. This demo is not intended for you guys to learn how to build a report within 10 minutes. No, you will learn it when you get hands-on, which means you also need to have Power BI desktop on your laptop. And then while I do, you also do. That's when you can quickly learn. But today's demo is not that intention. Today's intention is to just show you how quickly, how intuitively, flexibly I can use Power BI. Itu the intention. So don't worry if you cannot catch up with what I'm showing. Okay. Right now, I want to actually just have a background color. Okay. Aina, let's say, pilih biru. Just, just go with what color I want for today. And then I want my text to be in white so that it's more clear. Okay, now done. My title is ready. So first, I want to add like a line chart. I want to show the different sales that I have done over the year. I'm going to pull the date column, and I akan masukkan dalam x-axis. And then I only want to see the year and the month. I don't want to see day quarter. So I'm going to just pangka. Uh, okay. And then I want to see sales. Okay. So my line chart is ready within 2 clicks. I'm just going to put it here for now. And then now, if you see, I'm only seeing like 2 data points. I'm seeing 2013 punya sales and 2014. But I don't want to see by year, but I want to see more detail. So there is a button called expand one level down, the hierarchy. So now when I click this button, I get to see, kalau you nak besarkan, you can go to the focus mode. Now I can see from September 2013 to November 2014, what is my sale point. Okay, simple. Within 2 clicks, I already built my line chart, which will not be the case if you're doing it in Excel or in Excel, right? Okay, so I just minimize kan because I just want to show this. And then now I feel like I can see line chart, I can see trend, tapi I tak nampak lagi dia punya numbers. Like I want to see numbers. So you just go to another, these are where we can do the customization, like you want to improve cosmetic or data label or whatever, this is where you do it. I'm just going to turn it on. So sekarang, I can already see the data labels. Since I can already see the data labels, I would not need the values to be shown on my x-axis. Sorry, see that y-axis. I don't want my values. Okay. So this is a very clean and simple chart to show the sales over different months. Okay, next, apa lagi yang nak build? Dah lupa dah. Sum of profit by country. Okay, I want to put sum of profit by country. Very simple again. I'm just going to take bar chart first, right? I want to show. I am going to pull countries to my x-axis, and then I'm going to pull my profit column to y-axis. Simple, ada dapat. Okay. So again, I can show this information, profit made by different countries using different chart. Here I'm using a bar chart, but if I want to go and show a little bit more fancy level, then I can. You see, I have built this bar chart, I have pulled to x-axis and y-axis. Now, if I want to just play around, I want to know like which chart can I use so that it can best present my visualization. I can just simply click this map chart. So now I can see, okay, does it helping me or not? If not, should I use this map? Should I use pie chart? Should I use donut chart? Look at how easy and like within clicks, you can just play around. So the one time I pull the country and sum of profit, and then I can continue to just play and play and play and play. Then I can see, I can think, okay, does this helping me to tell a story or not? Line chart, for sure, it's not helping. So go back to bar chart or the map chart. Okay, whichever. For now, I'm just going to stick to map because I just want to show some fanciness. But I know it's not helping me to do the storytelling, but I'm just showing some fanciness. Okay, now I am going to build another bar chart. It's okay. I'm going to use bar chart first. Later I will tukar. Sekarang I nak tengok sales. Okay. I want to see by different products. Okay. At the same time, I also want to see for different segment. Ta-da, got it. This is how I am telling a story, enriched story with using a bar chart. So sekarang, I'm not telling you one story. I'm telling you, the product Pesio has made the most number of sales. Not only that, on top of that, I also telling you that not Pesio have made more sales, and most of it was within the government section. Okay, first one is government section, then it made most of the sale within the small business. Or you can use the stack chart. Sorry, it should be this one. The stack chart. Tapi, sorry, this one, this stack chart. Since this stack chart is not helping me to tell the story, so I can use this column bar chart. Again, here we are not building like a serious report. I'm just showing you how to play around. Again, the intention here, I hope it's clear that to show you how simple within clicks, how flexible, how intuitively you can actually build report with Power BI. Okay. And I think tadi when I started to build this report, it was like around 12:52. Sekarang dah pukul 1 dah. I dah siap the report. I like, this is the one that I wanted to build, right? I almost dah siap. Tinggal my slicer je. Slicer is this one. I can tekan my slicer. Slicer ni for me to do my filtering. And for the slicer, I just want to move my date punya ni je. My settings, I akan tukar je. I want it to be... Okay, tak apa. I think I don't single select. Okay, this is my slicer lah basically, right? In which I can actually just kalau I tekan, my information will automatically change according to what I'm filtering. My slicer. It's just like button lah basically. Okay, so simple, itu je. A very simple Power BI report that I have tried to build within like 6-7 minutes of the time that I had. Again, tadi I only showed very briefly. So there is like other steps like how can you upload the data, as in masukkan data to Power BI. How can you get different data from different data sources? Kalau data you CSV, how do you load it? If your data is coming from SQL, how do you load it? And then how do you do the Power data transformation in the Power Query editor? So all those bits will be covered in the full length class. Today in the learning hours, this much we can cover. And I hope with the demo and also with the presentation tadi pasal how to choose the visualization, I'm going to put it this one lah so that dia nampak lagi cantik. With the demo, you can have a little bit of idea of how things would look like when you get your hands on the Power BI. Okay, and with that, I am going to take some questions. Question for line chart, if there, I'm going to stop sharing dulu. Need any explanation, for example, draw arrow line at the highest data, explain why it's high, blah, blah, can you comment on that? Boleh buat, benda ni kita boleh buat juga dalam Power BI in the line chart. This is coming under more on the customization part. In which I can add like lines, I can add like boxes, the text box in tadi I add to add the title. The same kind of text box I could also add within the charts to give explanation of certain places. Like you want to explain why is it high, why is it increased? Yeah, those kind of things we can do in Power BI. Those comes under the cosmetics of it, like how I want to make it more improvised. Tadi when I choose the click punya ni, the click and building a bar chart, that is like the basic of it. I'm already building the bar chart. But on top of the bar chart that I have built, I can continue to play around the data labels. I can play around the colors. I can play around the data ink ratio. I can play around putting text box, commenting, all those things you would be able to do. There is the, apa benda tu? The customization you can further add on to it. That's question from Azri. Thanks, Azri, for the question. Any other questions from the floor? Okay. If there's no any question, thank you so much. Sorry that I took extra few minutes from what I'm supposed to share. Thank you. And I would like to wish everyone a very great, happy New Year. And thank you. Enjoy the last day of 2025.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Lohini. Let me share my screen first. All right. Since there is no further question from our participant today. All right, guys. Thank you again, Miss Lohini, for the excellent presentation. Within 60 minutes, we gain a lot of information, how to use chart, how to use suitable chart for our storytelling in data visualization. All right. For those who have registered through the NTW portal, your attendance have been recorded and your status will be marked as completed within 24 hours. In the meantime, please do not withdraw your applications. To generate the certification, please complete the assessment on the TE assessment on the NTW website. As for the video recording of the session, for those who have asking to record on your computer and etc. The recording we done from our behalf, and the recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel at Cell Academy Malaysia within 24 hours as well. Now, let me inform you guys. Training, public training offered by Excel Academy. If you are interested to enroll, you can contact us. We have Microsoft training, Microsoft Excel from basic level until advanced level, incorporate with AI. We also have Microsoft Excel for data analytics, Microsoft Power BI as well. We have digital marketing training, digital marketing masterclass, digital marketing professional. We have social media marketing. We also have AI tools training, introduction to AI tools for office productivity, ChatGPT, and AI tools for content creation and marketing. And last but not least, creative tool training, Canva AI Bootcamp, and lastly, short form video mastery for mobile marketing success. I think that's basically it for today's sessions. Let me check the chat first before ending the session. All right. I think that's basically it for today's session. Once again, thank you so much, Ms. Lohini, for today's session. And thank you all for your participation and have a great day. Happy New Year, everyone.